All right. Get our Taco Tuesday going again. All right. I wanted to ask you, would you be offended if somebody told you that you had bad breath?
Depends on the person and depends on the situation.
Okay, let's go through some scenarios here because it's different for men and women. Most men say that they would not be offended, and most women say that they would. So, okay, you're in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
This is an unsocially distanced world because I think we found with masks that we all have bad breath.
Oh my God, Dilby.
But you're in a bank, no mask, and the person in front of you turns around and says, "I don't mean to be rude, but you have really bad breath right now."
I'm sorry. Anytime someone says, "I don't mean to be rude," or "with all due respect," no, none of that's true. Like, you don't go up to a stranger and be like, "Excuse me, you stink." Like, you don't do that. You don't do that.
With all due respect, your breath is horrible. Oh,
yeah.
I feel respected.
Yeah, thank you. I feel so good right now.
Heck yeah, it's a Taco Tuesday. Okay. Offended in the bank. How about you're at a family get-together and an aunt or an uncle, an aunt or an uncle looks
aunt.
at you and says, you say aunt? Oh, I have to do aunt. Says, "Man, I need you to take a step back. Your breath is really bad."
I wouldn't be offended by that because of who my aunt and uncle are. They would say it in a joking way, a joking, loving way. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be offended by that one.
Friends.
Depends on the friend and depends on how they said it.
Depends on the right? Because we all have one friend that's our friend, but they all say something that kind of rubs us the wrong way. And like the fact that they're our friend is like, they're like on the fence. They could be our friend. They could not be our friend. Say one thing, I dare you. And let's find out how close this friendship really is. Right?
How close am I to violence?
Right. We started today thinking that we were just going to disc golf, and we ended thinking you might get throat punched. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the most offended, and I did say it on the radio and I'll say it here as well. Jake and I were doing some adult stuff, and he paused and he's like, "Your breath really stinks," and that killed the mood 100%.
Done,
and,
right?
Nothing happened after that.
Done. Absolutely done. Absolutely done. Absolutely done. You know what? There are several instances that can kill that time, like with no intention whatsoever. My dog one time, came in and killed that time. Because when a nose nuzzles up, you're like, "What is that?" You're like, "Oh."
So
I think we're done here.
So that happened to Jake when we were in high school. And so now we have to figure out a little trick to keep the dog out of the room. And she gets so upset. She literally will wait by the door till we have finished. And then we open the door and then she's like, "Hey, what's going on?"
See, you think it's gonna be the kids, but it's the dog.
Yeah.
Because the dog has no social awareness. It just sees a door partially open. It's like, "Oh, I want to go in there."
Oh, what are y'all doing? Sounds like you're having fun. I want to have fun.
Right. There was a time when our dog, we have a shepherd who's rounding the bases right now, right? And when the shepherd was young, the shepherd more gravitated towards her, and now that the shepherd is older, the shepherd more gravitates towards me. So when the shepherd was younger, I couldn't even give a hug without it was ready to rock and roll.
Dude, so my dog's the opposite. So she's jealous, but she's not nasty jealous. If I get near Jake, kiss him on the cheek, oh, absolutely not. You're not allowed to give kisses. I'm the only one who's supposed to give kisses, and then we'll attack us.
Right. Yeah, no, I looked at, I'm like, who pays your bills, dog?
Right? I feed you. Knock it off.
We got you. You know where we got you, dog? We got you from a dusty front yard off of Kansas in Modesto 9 years ago. You can go back.
Yeah, there is a return policy.
They said it was like Costco when we left. They said, "Just have the receipt." I still have it 11 years later. I don't know if I would be offended if somebody told me my breath stunk. I think that it's weird because I mean, you've worked with me for 10 or 11 years now. I've got a very weird what offends me and what doesn't offend me barometer.
That is very true. That is very. I think you would be appreciative if I said, "Hey, Ian, your breast's a little funky right now. You'd be like, oh my God, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I had to do this, and this today. Thank you for telling me. I would have been like, then you would have gone on a 10-minute spiel of
Yeah.
what.
Yeah. And I would have been embarrassed, and I would have felt bad that y'all had to smell my breath. But then if you looked at me and like, hey, dude, your shirt's on backwards, I'd be like, yeah, I wanted it that way. Shut up.
That's true too. That is true too. You would wear your
Don't
Argyle in all the ways.
Yeah. And when you told me I was wearing it wrong, I would get offended because that's something, you know why? Because I figured it out. That's something that you can physically see that I made a physical error. My breath, I mean, I could have just had something that I didn't even know. But if it's something where I screwed up, I'm a little embarrassed now because I messed up. My pride and ego are getting in the way because you're showing me the ways that I messed up in this scenario. And now I'm going to lean in and tell you that this is how I wear my shirt. So don't tell me otherwise.
That's a guy thing. The minute pride and ego play into the factor, it's a different scenario where women are like, oh, whatever. Or say like, if we were in the studio and Madden would be like, hey, Ashley, your tag is showing or your shirt's inside out. Be like, oh my God, thank you so much. I didn't want to look stupid. Where you'd be like, how dare you? This is how I wear my blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah, that's the difference between men and women.
This is just how I do it, says the guy that did it for the first time ever today. Doesn't want to be called out for doing it wrong.
Yeah, I was just trying it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell me.
No matter who, no matter what.
Yeah. If you got
you'll never be embarrassed.
Funky green thing in there, you don't want to be walking around with that. It's not cute. And then I get mad at Jake if he doesn't tell me I have stuff in my teeth. Be like, bro, you let me walk around with this crap?
The worst is strawberries. Because strawberries have those little black seeds, right? Okay, but when you get one of those stuck, and I never say anything, when you see something little tiny and black, I think to myself, it could be a strawberry seed, or they could not brush their teeth. I don't know. So I don't say anything when I see that. Like green, when I see salad, I instantly be like, okay, they had a salad, I know. But when I see something like that, because then you got to get really close, you got to look, and now you're just looking at their mouth.
Yeah. I know my sister told me back in the day, if you ever go on a date to Jamba Juice, never get the razzmatazz because it has raspberries and they have all those little seeds and they get stuck all in your teeth. So you don't want to have that awkward scenario. Do
you want to know something funny about that? I have a story for that. My folks and I, we used to have a juice bar, like a smoothie and wrap bar, and we had a raspberry drink. And it took us a couple months to catch on that happened. But after a while, we would watch people come in with their dates and we would watch if they got the raspberry. And we would sit back and we would watch the smile because it happened 100% of the time. It never did not happen.
Nope, happens every time. And those raspberry smoothies always taste so good. But yeah, you have to be either with friends or in a committed relationship.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, I'm finding now in dating, and this is something that you don't have to deal with, and I just want to flip you off for it every single day. Can we circle back? Oh my God, how tides have changed. Because for 10 years, how much crap did I give you on the show that you're never going to get married? We had a coworker get married that we knew was never going to get married. We were like, that person got married before Ashley got married. And
do you know how much that sucked seeing that? I'm like, really?
I know. It was my favorite thing, right? Not in a bad way. Not like I'm taking pride. Yeah. Now it's me.
I know it's very weird how you're right. The tides have turned, how things have changed. But I mean,
if you go ahead.
Well, I don't know what to say. Like, what do you say after that? Like, sorry.
Well, I was just thinking about the evolution of the show because and I wish Madden was here for this because this past month marked 10 years that her and I have been doing the show together. And this show has changed in terms of dynamics so much in 10 years because when we first started the show, if you think back to when we first started the show together, because you weren't a part of it until a couple months in because you were just starting with the station.
Yeah.
When her and I started, she just got married. She just had babies. She was the responsible mom on the show. And I was the dude who just came in, just got with somebody, not married, knocked up 5 months in. Holy crap, what am I doing, right? Like, I got a whole lot of growing up to do. And then as time kind of evolved, I did some growing up. And then, she kind of had her things with her marriage. And so she got divorced. And then she kind of hit that single life and went out and did that whole party single thing, right? And then I was married with kids and kind of doing my adult thing. And you were over there not getting married at all. And everyone's like, Ashley's never going to get married. Let's make fun of her.
Pretty much.
And then Madden settled down. And then you get married. And then I'm getting a divorce. And so now I feel like I'm looking at you guys almost like my mom. Like, am I doing this right? Am I doing it right? Tell me I'm doing it right. Am I doing okay?
Do you want some love advice? Do you want me to help you? But also, you know what's crazy is next year, so 2022. I mean, at the end of it, but Jake and I will be together for 20 years. Like, not married, obviously. Yeah, but we've been a couple for 20 years. This is absolutely insane to me. Yeah.
I've been alive and around people that have known other people for 20 years. That's as close as I can get to that.
It's so weird. But yeah, marriage, I mean, I'm digging it so far. We're a year and a half in, you know, so far so good. We'll see.
I mean, you guys have been together so long that because I know that everybody says, well, we've been together for so long, nothing changed. And then I know everyone says, well, when you get married, things change no matter what. For you guys, because you were together for so long, once you got married, what changed?
The only thing that changed is so far the money thing.
Because you put them all together now.
Not quite yet, but in the way of, like, say he pays for dinner, and I say, thanks, babe, and he's like, why are you thanking me? It's our money. That's the thing that's just, it's hard for me. Or like doing big purchases, say for the house, like I don't have to justify them anymore. Does that make sense?
Because it's a planned purchase that you guys are doing together.
Exactly. It's not like, oh, I gotta hide this. You know, he doesn't. It's that's the only thing that's changed is the financial situation of like, oh, so it's ours. It's more comfortable. We don't have to check in with each other as much, unless it's like thousands of dollars. Then 100% you need to check in with me. If that boy came in with a new motorcycle, there would be some issues. You know.
How many does he have right now?
3.
He has 3 motorcycles right now?
Yeah, and he wants a 4th already. And we don't have a garage. I'm like, where is this one gonna go? I already have one.
How do you have a garage for a motorcycle? You need a bike rack.
We have one in the house. We have one in the storage unit because it's not working, because, you know, that's normal. And then when he was unemployed, in between jobs, he built a shed. So that's where the one that he uses the most lives.
Okay, so he's a handy guy. He knows how to build things.
Thank God, because I don't know how to do crap.
That's wonderful, because I have a bathroom that needs a wall knocked out and then extended. So where are we at on that?
Good money, probably, because
I don't think you've been on the stream for this. Matt and I have talked about it before, and I think the people on the watching right now know this story. But my house is a really odd house in that it's basically 4 rectangles. It's 3 parallel rectangles and then a 4th rectangle for all the bedrooms, right?
Okay.
Well, the 3rd rectangle was an add-on. Like 25 years ago, because the original owners of the house, the Geringers, which I hear they were wonderful people, the gentleman got dementia later in life and wandered like all over the place. And so what they did was they made, it sounds morbid, but they made a sunroom where our playroom is now with these huge bay windows, right? And so it took up like half the backyard, and they put all these windows and then all the doors locked from the outside in. So they would basically stick them in this room and be like, there's your sunroom. No, don't go dimensioning around the rest of the house. So the people that bought the house from them then took all the outside locking indoors and turned it into like a nice little like entryway. So it's like a really nice little playroom now. Yeah. The problem is that my bathroom is about as big as my laptop. And so I'm not a big guy, but I'm 6 foot tall. And so when I get into my shower now, I'm like in my shower like this, just kind of like moving around and like adjusting under the water to like get myself all clean and stuff, you know? And so what I really need is I need some guy to come in and bust out the wall and just move it out like another 6 feet so I can have like a really cool bathroom. And if Jake knows how to do that.
Well, so we did renovate the house that we're living in right now. And I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
The bathroom is probably the worst of it all. But also we didn't touch it very much either. Like we just like made it be like it's livable. That's the problem with renovating houses, is that you get to the point where it's livable and then you don't touch it ever again. Like we don't have baseboards. We meant to put them in, never put them in. You know,
that's just going to Home Depot, buying them and then putting them in.
Yeah, I know.
That's the easiest one, right?
It's been 5 years, Ian. It's been 5 years.
Have you lived in a house for 5 years now?
Yep.
Okay. So, and hey, let him know. I don't want to move any plumbing. All the plumbing stays the same. I just want to take a wall and move it back 5 feet.
I will throw it out to him. We'll see his
And
answer.
let him know what's his beverage of choice.
Diet Coke.
Okay. Let him know that we don't do Diet Coke in our house, but we do Coke Zero.
Oh yeah, see, he prefers that.
Does he prefer Coke Zero?
He does.
Oh, I've got all the zeros. I've got Coke Zero, Pepsi Cherry Zero, Coke Cherry Zero. There's a whole lot of zeros in this house.
Have you tried? So let's just go down the soda route. Have you tried the Zero Dr. Pepper?
Yes.
Oh my God, that is amazing. And
have you tried?
Oh, go on.
Go ahead.
The Zero Cream Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
So good. And the cherry one?
The cherry I have not. No, I take that back. I have.
So when those first came out, they were hard to find. I have literally drove from Hayward to the Tracy Target, the first one after Grantline, to get the Dr. Pepper cherry. It was so good. It was worth the
We all
drive.
have our price. We all have our price. Have you tried the Pepsi Blue yet?
No, I have. No. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't.
Well, this stream is over.
And the Coke Orange? Have you tried the Coke Orange?
Not a fan.
Oh.
You know, okay. I want to talk about McDonald's for a second. Or a lot of these fast food restaurants. I give them a lot of props for giving us options now with that big red Coke machine where we get to add our flavors and stuff.
Yeah, awesome.
However, there are some sodas that don't require additional flavors and should not be given that option. There are some people that need to be saved from themselves that see that and think, I want to give that a shot.
Yeah, we don't need grape Diet Coke. Why did you think that was a good flavor combination?
There's I feel like they're giving us an option to be like when we were 7 years old at Little League and we go up to the snack counter afterwards, like, can we just have one of everything?
Yeah, the suicide drink where you just go boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And
you call it
like but you drank it anyway.
We called it a suicide until my mom stepped in and said, that's not a good word. Call it a kamikaze instead.
Okay. That's better.
It's like, that doesn't, like, looking back further, I'm like, Mom, I don't think that carries the same. I think that, I think both can be viewed equally as not kind.
It's so many things. Like if you use the 2020-21 filter on things, you're like, ooh, that was not good. Yeah,
not good. On Disney Plus, the old Davy Crockett with Fess Parker, made in the 50s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were just fine with saying a lot of things in 1950s Disney that you can't say now. You cannot look at Native Americans and call them savages, and they did that in that movie several times. And like, I get that going back to the time that they were portraying, but even now you can still put a better filter on it for a Disney movie. Like I was watching that with my son because I forgot about some of those parts. I'm like, oh my God, that's such an abrasive word now. Like when I was 9, it was totally like, whatever. But now that you know and you hear it, you see it, you're like, oh. Ooh.
I remember in kindergarten, Thanksgiving, we are dressed up as pilgrims and Native Americans, or, we called them Indians then. And I remember I'm running around the playground and I'm doing this because I learned that, or, in Peter Pan, because that's what they did. I got in so much trouble. That was in 92. Could you imagine trying to do that now in school? Good Lord.
Oh, man. I am really glad that we know now what we know. And I am also really glad that video cameras and cell phone cameras were not around every street corner when I was 10,
Praise it. Praise all of the gods, all of the things.
If they were, we would never, ever, 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 ever be allowed to run for public office ever.
It's gonna be fascinating, like when we get older, and if we still have our minds to see like how these younger kids like run for stuff. Because how are you going to with the things you tweet? I see it. Like how are you gonna? It's gonna be interesting.
Right. All right, guys, we have Everclear tickets coming up. Everclear is going to be at the Gallo Center for the Arts this week, like in 4 days. Everything's wonderful. AM radio. I love Everclear. I've been an Everclear fan ever since they came out. So head on over to the FM side. We'll get some Everclear tickets. Then Ashley, I guess you and I get to do this again tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.